Hello there. My name is Daniel Marks, and I'm a horror writer. My new book, Velveteen, says it right there on the cover, features such exciting and terrifying elements as deranged killer, welfare lines, rotting zombies, punishing work schedules, ashy elbows, tentacle monsters, paper cuts, body snatchers, farm full of corpses, and teen love. But I'm not here to talk about Velveteen. Not when there's an epidemic spreading across the YA readership. When I tell people that I'm a horror writer, I've been getting more and more statements like, horror? I don't like horror. I don't like to be scared. I recently saw on my friend's Facebook wall, we were talking about that new show Hannibal, and he was like, this is really creeping me out. And then one of the comments said, and I quote, most sane people stop watching stuff that creeps them out. Is that true, do you think? I hope not. Then I have never been sane. In fact, I used to be a psychotherapist. I have training in this shit, and I don't think that that's the right answer. I don't think that's true. I have always loved horror, ever since I was a kid. My mom was actually into it, and she probably would have been carted away by Child Protective Services nowadays, but back then she was taking me to R-rated horror movies when I wasn't even 10. I was probably like 7 or 8. One of those movies was The Omen. We went into the theater and she was like, yeah, the kid in this movie's your age. Yeah, right. It's true. That's true. I call it an epidemic for 2 reasons. 1, it's making me sick. And 2, it seems to be spreading rapidly through generation. I suspect, I'm just going to posit this as my theory, that as parents have become more and more concerned with their kids having to deal with conflict, like they've taken that on as a parenting role, that you shouldn't have to worry about intense emotions, that things that evoke intense emotions, like horror, evoking fear, those kind of responses, those things have been so sort of dulled down by parenting over the last 20 years that it's not something that people are drawn to anymore, or drawn to as much. There's always going to be people who are interested in horror, I hope. But for the most part, it's sort of waning. It's waning, and that's what's really scaring me. The logic is, though, and I want to get back to that comment on the Facebook wall about the most sane people stop watching stuff or stop reading stuff or whatever if they're creeped out. The logic of that suggests that sane people don't continue to subject themselves to lots of emotional material. Now, that doesn't explain Nicholas Sparks. Why do those movies get huge box office openings? You know, why are those books very popular? There's only one reason to read them, and that's to make yourself fugly cry. I do that occasionally. I'm not opposed to it. But it's a similar emotion. It's an intense sort of reaction. So is like huge amounts of laughter. I love these extremes. I love them. I worry that people are not seeking them out. So I've been hearing that kind of stuff more and more and more and more. And frankly, I'm getting a little worried. And not because I don't think anyone's going to buy the books, because they're not. They're just not anyway. Because I feel like that people are moving in a direction where they're not accessing a wide range of emotions. And like I said, I was a psychotherapist for like 12 years. I have lots of education on this stuff. And the biggest group of people that I know of that don't have a very wide range of expressive emotion or access to those emotions are the mentally ill, primarily like schizophrenics and people who have delusions and things. So let's not move in that direction. Is what I'm telling you. Let's avoid that if we can. You heard that right. I just jumped to the idea that it's possible that the less that people watch horror movies or read books about horror, the more likely they are to become crazy. Horror cures what ails ya, if what ails ya is being flat and lifeless. There's no research on this. So, do you agree? Disagree? Are you offended? Good. I'd just like to thank Evie for having me on the channel today. Make sure to enter the contest down below, beneath my video. Thanks, Evie, and thanks for making it through the video.